Hello, everyone. I am Lord Ryan Rich
And I'm Canada Dry, and we'd like to welcome you.
to the effing comic store.
Can we help you find anything? Can we?
Maybe.
I don't know where the hell the intro is.
Intro's gone, maybe?
We're clear for takeoff.
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network. Get ready. It's time for the effing comic store.
I'm of course Canada effing Dry. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling and your comic store junkie here today.
Yep, and I am Lord Ryan Rich, and we are a couple minutes behind because the store has been busy and I had to go on lunch break late.
Lunch break. We'll call it lunch break.
Well, what I do on my lunch break is my own business.
Yes, that is true.
But we are here now, and we are excited for another Friday night full of superhero talk.
Yep, superhero, nerd, geek, everything in between.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to learn a little bit something about you right now, though. And maybe you can learn a little bit something about me. You can tell a lot by this person's answer when you ask them this question. Ryan Rich.
Yes.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
You can't. That's impossible to say because there's too many different genres.
You can't name
There's
one.
not one. There's a favorite comedy. There's a favorite action. There's a favorite thriller, like a favorite horror. Every genre has their own favorite.
Like someone put a gun to your head and you couldn't name one.
I'm gonna die.
You're gonna die.
There's too many.
Just name one that you really, really, really like.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Really?
Yeah. Jay and Silent Bob, dude.
That's up near the top of your mountain somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So you really like comedies?
Comedy is one of my very favorite types of movies. Yes.
Okay.
Because I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s when a good comedy was still around. Like, you don't see raunchy comedies anymore because of society of where it is today. And I think comedians get afraid to be able to maybe say certain things, or maybe it's just that we've evolved past that as a community.
You know
I don't know, but some of that stuff's gold.
Do you know what else killed comedy movies? Oddly enough, some of these superhero movies.
I mean, to a certain extent, but that's the thing, though. Like, comedy movies.
Well, here's why. Because you're mixing in some comedy into these shows.
I mean, that's true, but that's the thing, though. You're going to spend 200 to 400 million making a comic book movie. You can do that with fraction of the budget for a comedy movie and still make it something that's a classic for all time. So it's more about what studios think people want to see as opposed to sometimes what they actually want to see.
I got Marvel Joe backstage.
Oh.
Before I bring him in, I want to talk about my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption.
Never seen it.
What? Okay.
Never seen it.
Okay. You're in for a treat if you watch this movie.
I don't know if I ever will.
This movie's rated the only movie on IMDb that's rated a 9 out of 10.
I don't care about what IMDb says.
IMDb is
probably have Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back at like -4. So why don't I care about what they say?
IMDb is voted by the people. It's not like the Metacritic. It's not. Not Rotten Tomatoes.
All right.
So come on. Give this movie a chance. I promise. If you do not enjoy it,
Listen, I already know the
I
guy's
will-
in jail. The guy gets out of jail. Morgan Freeman is a delight. I know the movie. There it
I
is.
got to bring Marvel and Joe in.
There it
Marvel
is.
Joe, do you hear what he's saying about Shawshank Redemption?
I've never watched it.
Boom.
I just
Boom.
look. I know
Why?
it's an all-time great
Ooh.
movie. It's just
Exactly.
my dad didn't watch those kind of movies, and I could never find it on TV, so I've never watched it.
I believe it is on Netflix.
Well,
If
it
it is, I have
used
to
to
give
be
it a
on
look.
TNT like 87 times a week.
I
It
know
would
it
be
had-
one of those filler movies they
Yeah,
play
you
at
guys
like
you got to do me a favor, guys.
11.
You got to watch this movie.
I told you, I already know what it's about.
You do not know what's
The
about.
guy
It's
goes
not-
in the
it's not what it's
prison. He
about.
wants
It's
to
about
get
the
out of the
ride.
prison. He gets out of the prison. Morgan Freeman is a delight. There's the movie.
So can I tell you what my favorite movie is that I will watch?
I would love to know.
So this is a movie that I will watch no matter what. If I see it on TV, I'm stopping to watch it, and it's A Few Good Men. I love that movie.
That is a good movie.
Like it's
Good old
got
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, Demi
Mhm.
Moore, just and it's
That was the
it's so
stuff back then.
quotable too. Like
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? Both since you guys are both not willing, like you're not even willing to watch this movie. Like your movie taste is out the window for me for both.
no, I
of you.
never said I
Whatever.
wasn't willing to watch it. It's just
Okay, okay. I apologize.
I've never seen it on.
I
TV.
don't see a point in watching it at this point in my life after knowing so much about it already and what I've heard.
It's about the ride. It's not about the destination.
No.
No. This movie, if it does not affect you,
Okay, so listen, I've never seen Fight Club.
What?
I'm never gonna see Fight Club because I already know what happens. It doesn't matter about the ride. To me, in the back of my brain, I already know what happens. There's no suspense. There's no lead up. There's no me guessing. So to me, that takes all the enjoyment out of
and
it.
Fight Club is a little bit different than Shawshank Redemption when it comes
Well,
to that.
I understand, but I watched The Green Mile. I had enough prison movies that make you feel. We're good.
No Way Home is who's this?
Oh, Roman, yeah, Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Oh, Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay. I was like, what is No Way Home?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good
All
one.
right. I guess we'll keep you around for the news if you want, Marvel Joe.
Sure, let's go.
All right, let's oh yeah, we'll roll that in the news.
Marvel Joe.
We need to get rid of some of these
Need to clean up your files.
yes.
All right, everyone, get ready. It's time to do the news.
It's the news.
I think that like that's what they should do on TV. All right, everybody, time to do the news. Just so nonchalant about it.
Yeah. Well, if the news had anything nonchalant to say, maybe they would.
Rich, it's I don't know if you want to participate on this, Marvel Joe.
I don't have anything, unfortunately.
This I just found in the alley today.
What?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, someone was moving and they just put a bunch of junk out there. And I was like, let's see what they're moving. Like sometimes they just leave a bunch of stuff. Some of it's good. And so I was like, what? A Superman figurine? Like,
Heck yeah.
I found this.
Is that a McFarlane?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything special about it, but it's a porcelain Superman. But it's free.
That's the best kind.
Do you have something for us?
I do. And with it being, once again, sort of in the spooky season, and this character just had a movie that dropped last week on video on demand. And he is one of my favorite characters. Hellboy, Anung Rama.
I love Hellboy.
He's got the horns on there. I was like, yeah, get the full horns.
Yeah. All right.
But I love Hellboy.
Let's get into the news here. So we have Spider-Man 4 starts filming this summer.
And I've heard that it's supposed to release in July 2026.
Yes. July
So-
24th, 2026, I believe, somewhere around
Something
there.
like that.
So are you excited for this new Spider-Man movie? I'll start with Joe.
Yes and no. Because if all those scoops are to be believed, it's going to be another multiversal, just like No Way Home. I kind of don't want to see that. I'd rather see like a street level, like legit Spider-Man. But if the rumors are true, this is going to be taking place on the MCU's version of Battle World, which will be very interesting. So
She loves Tom Holland. To me, it's not my favorite Spider-Man.
I like him. Like I'm so over. Like if we were to go back to any of the old Spider-Man, I don't want Tobey Maguire. I don't care. The second one, I forgot drawing a blank to his name.
Andrew
Garfield?
Garfield?
Andrew Garfield. I would love to see another Andrew Garfield one, and just because there was the line in No Way Home where he said like he stopped pulling his punches, and I would love to see that story told of like a darker Spider-Man.
Yeah. If that's going to happen, that's going to be a Sony movie. That won't be an MCU movie. So that you're not going to see that be produced by Marvel.
Which means
So, I'm sorry.
I mean, it is probably not going to happen because the way Spider-Man's rights are right now, like Marvel has the rights over the actual Spider-Man, but Sony has everything else because Sony does such a horrible job with Spider-Man. They don't want their Spider-Man movies to ruin what's going on in the MCU.
Well, to be more specific, the contract states that they still have the rights to the Spider-Man character and all the other characters, but in the agreement they came up with, the second agreement, Sony cannot name Spider-Man in their universe without prior consent from Marvel. They have to review it and approve it.
Which is
So-
why Sony
But
should just
to
give
me,
everything back to Marvel.
I think that we might be getting close to the end, and Sony might be selling to Disney.
Like if I'm Sony, that's what I would do. That or just lease it back like they
Well,
did to them and just make money off of it.
Part of that is kind of from the third Venom movie, and I'm not. This obviously would be spoiler free because I'm going to talk about that a little bit later.
No, I don't like if you're Sony, you don't. Why would you sell the rights?
Because no one watches your movies and they're garbage.
Because
You're
they lose-
losing
because
money.
They lose money on everything.
Those first 3 Spider-Man movies were the biggest.
Okay, those are Sam Raimi. We're not talking about that. They can't use Spider-Man without Marvel's approval. That's what I just said. So they can't.
Yeah,
make
they've
no
kind
more
of been
Spider-Man
like, how
movies
long
with
is this
Marvel.
contract for, though?
That the contract. I mean, the contract is for as long as it's extended out. They're doing a Spider-Man 4, which means the contract is still in effect. Now, right now, the only thing in development left at Sony is Kraven that comes out later on this year. After
Which
that,
is which I say is going to blow.
they don't have. I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. But after that, Sony doesn't have anything else in development Spider-Man related right now. My guess is that they sell the live action rights back to Marvel and they keep animation rights for Spider-Man because that's where they make their money, is doing these Across the Spider-Verse movies. That would be the smartest thing for Sony in order to recoup some of the loss they've gotten on this.
Spider-Man is worth a lot of money.
Not
It
if
is.
you can't use him.
No,
And
yeah, if you can't
Marvel's not
execute
going to
it.
re-up a contract with anything else. And Spider-Man is cool, but they have destroyed his rogue galleries so much more. No one wants to go watch a Spider-Man movie unless it's going to be interacting with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and everything else that's coming out in the MCU. Sony has no leverage whatsoever. They have a piece of property they can sell for a high value. That's the leverage they have. They don't have anything else. That's just pure and simple how it is.
Sony has run out of
Maybe you want to
goodwill
make a
with
trade. Maybe make a trade, Spider-Man, for
For
something.
what?
I don't know. Maybe they can make. Marvel's got a lot of characters they can trade. Maybe make a package deal because then you can make more movies.
They're not. They don't need to make more movies. They're already downsizing their studios and doing everything else. Like
Okay.
this is not what they want to do. Like I said, stick to the animation where you make
To the
money.
video games.
And video games, exactly. Those things are very well received, and those are the best Spider-Man stories Sony has put out.
Yep.
By far.
All right, let's move on. So you guys all remember the Death in the Family story where Robin gets killed?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So they had a number you could call, and the fans decided whether Robin lived or died.
Yeah.
Those bastard fans.
I heard it
voted
was
Robin dead.
overwhelmingly kill.
Yeah. Because it's such a unique opportunity for fans, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened in the like the 97 or 98 run where they did the Marvel versus DC and it ended in the Amalgam universe.
Yes.
All the winners of those fights were voted on by fans as well.
That's cool. So that was the second Robin, of course, Jason Todd.
Yes.
So DC is going back and redoing this story.
Is this animated?
It's animation,
No,
right?
this is comic book. And
the comic story.
Yeah. And they're redoing this, but instead of killing Robin off, Robin lives. So this is what they would have gone with if people voted yes.
So it's like an alternate universe.
Yes.
It's Elseworld story.
That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
And in this, instead, Joker is making Robin insane. And Batman is trying to pick up the pieces and try to bring Robin back to sanity. And Joker is pretty much making him one of his men. So there's pretty much instead of he dies, it's a contest for Robin's soul.
That's an interesting take on the story.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else that you guys on that one?
No, that's just interesting. I mean, the story of Jason Todd is so interesting the way it was, how it all played out and everything. So yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how it goes from there.
The interesting thing about Batman is Dick Grayson is fired because he's worried about his safety. He gets shot by Joker. He gets fired. And he goes off and does his Teen Titan stuff, becomes Nightwing. And what does Batman do? He hires another Robin, puts him in the line of fire.
This one can die. I don't want the old one to die, but this one, no problem.
He's a new Robin. We'll do. I'm not as attached to this one.
Right.
He did try to steal my hubcaps off the Batmobile. All right, let's get on our next thing. Rich, so you saw Venom 3 today.
Yes, I went and saw it this afternoon.
Is Connor around? Maybe Connor wants to talk about it.
He is not.
All right. What do you tell us what you think of this movie?
Okay, so I have seen that this movie's kind of got drug online quite a bit. To me, it's very similar to the other Venom movies in the relationship between Eddie and Venom, and in the terms of like how the story is told. I feel like all three movies are similar, which means that you have like a constant tone throughout, which I enjoyed. You get to see some really cool symbiote action go on in this movie, which is cool. And I will say that the movie ends and you feel at peace with what's happened. It's a good movie though. A lot of good action, a lot of good one-liner comedy stuff.
Okay.
Was there something related to the Spider-Man No Way Home?
Well, they're in the previews. So Spider-Man No Way Home, the post-credit scene, you see Venom is in or 616 at the bar, finding out about Thanos, all these superheroes, and there's Connor right there. As he is brought back into his universe, you see that there's a little piece of the symbiote that's left over in the 616, giving you a preview of Venom in the Marvel Universe. Well, the trailers make this look like it's going to get retconned because of something that happens. And I will just say that you will get the answer to how it connects at the very beginning of the movie.
Nice.
So let me ask you a question. Is this hurt by not having Spider-Man mentioned at all? Because obviously Venom is very much intertwined with Spider-Man. Do you think this trilogy is hurt by not having?
For sure. 100%.
Well, I mean, it's hard to have Venom's true origin without Spider-Man. I think that they did what they could with it, and at this point, you're so used to not seeing a Spider-Man in these movies that it feels natural. But if you're going to go from a purist standpoint, yeah, of course it suffers because it doesn't have Spider-Man in it. He's a Spider-Man character. These are all Spider-Man characters.
You at least needed Spider-Man in the first one.
There is something else. There's been a popular fan theory ever since the first Venom came out that the Venomverse actually takes place in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's universe. And there is strong evidence in this film that leads me to believe that that is not true at all. That we have no idea if or who the Spider-Man is of this universe.
They also have another origins for in Venom Ultimate.
Well, yeah, the Ultimate Lines was way different though, and that was like Agent Venom and stuff like that. And that's Flash Thompson, which you're not getting in here either.
So I guess we'll move on.
Yeah. But I think it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
Cool. I'll wait for it to come on a streaming service.
Yeah.
So a nice little transition here. Venom star Tom Hardy says he'd love to return as Bane for the future Bane Deathstroke team up in the DCU.
No thanks.
If it wasn't the same Bane, I'd say I would agree. If you can, he doesn't need to be that Bane.
No, he needs to be bigger. You're right, and that's why Tom Hardy shouldn't be Bane. I like the Bane mask voice, and that's about the only part of Bane I like from that movie.
Yeah, like I could do without that though. If we got a more,
I would rather have the Batman and Robin Bane.
Yeah, Batman animated.
No, Batman and Robin, the live action.
Right, yeah.
With Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze and all them. There was Bane in that. I'd rather have that Bane.
Who would make a good Bane? Batista. Batista.
But a lot of people said they'd love to see him as Dr. Hugo Strange. I don't know. Batista has slimmed down so much. He's a twig now. He's not the Batista we know from the WWE anymore.
No, I could see Brock Lesnar being Bane.
He's still a big guy.
He's tall.
No, I don't mean big as in muscle. I mean big as in tall.
Okay. Yeah, he's tall, but I mean, if they're gonna CGI some of it, that's fine. But I think it should have a base to work with first. It shouldn't be just Doug Jones like this.
The Rock is Bane, damn it.
From what I've heard, he might be Apocalypse in the new MCU, and I would be so okay with that.
I heard that too. Yeah, there's rumors.
As long as they can get the voice down.
Yeah, because I'm sick of Rock playing the good guy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see some villain Rock.
There's some very strong possibilities because his $7 production has signed with Disney. Like they have an agreement. I don't know what it's for, but as soon as that happened, they definitely started suggesting he could be Apocalypse in the MCU.
Well, it may be something too, like they're doing the live action Moana. They're like, hey, here's where we get you in, and then we've got this thoughts for you here too, and blah blah blah. It's always about getting an in with these actors. Once you get them in one thing, then you can kind of get them into your fold.
As long as The Rock doesn't try to take over running everything like he did with the DC, he just falls in, plays his Apocalypse, listens to Kevin Feige, and calls it a day.
He's got that look. He
would look perfect.
Yeah.
And to hear his voice, and he can actually speak. Yeah. Like he's articulate and he's good in a situation. I could even see him like popping off some really cool lines like off the fly that maybe make it into the movie. Like I think that would be legit. I would definitely be down for him.
Mr. Isaac talking shit on Rocky Maivia.
Okay, well, Mr. Isaacs, I will give you at least one movie from The Rock that is fantastic. And that movie is also, he co-stars one Sean William Scott and Christopher Walken, and that movie is The Rundown. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Thank me later.
What was that one that was called Fast? No, what was it? There's one that's...
What was it called?
I don't know. There's something about speed or something in this movie, but I forget what it's called. I think it might be called Fast or something like that.
You're not talking about the Fast and the Furious movies.
No. There's this other movie that came around just around the same time as just before he was in that.
Yeah, it doesn't ring any bells.
Yeah, it was really good though. His early pre-box office smash movies are good. Gridiron Gang it was really good.
Yeah, Gridiron Gang is classic.
Once he became like the big box office, he just plays the same role over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I think playing Apocalypse would be so refreshing.
Yeah, that would be sick.
I'll tell you, one movie I liked him in it wasn't bad, but it was funny, was CIA with him and Kevin Hart. Just because those two are good together.
Central Intelligence, yeah, it was hilarious.
And back in
He's
the day,
like, that was my favorite, one of my favorite lines of all time. Kevin Hart's like, I really like your unicorn shirt. And he's like, yeah, I'm huge into corns right now. I love that. I used to walk around saying that all the time.
Yeah, and Be Cool. Right, you remember Be Cool? He had that little role in Be Cool.
Yeah, that was his first. That was one of his first like real gigs.
Yeah.
And he played a gay dude.
Yeah. But I guess we'll move on to the MCU. Has some movies coming out soon.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I can't wait because we only got one this year, and it feels like it's been a while since we've had a run of good Marvel movies. So.
Oh, yeah. Agatha All Along season 7 came out as well. Since we're talking about Marvel stuff right now, the last 2 episodes are next Wednesday, the day before Halloween. And man, if you haven't been watching it, you are missing out. This is one of the best Marvel shows around. No cap.
My favorite Marvel movie,
ooh,
definitely. I'm gonna go Deadpool 1.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Classic.
So the first movie that's coming out February 2025 is Captain America Brave New World.
I can't wait for this.
So this is the first one without the former Captain America.
Yes.
The new Captain America in this.
Yep,
Yeah.
Sam Wilson. Yeah.
I like Anthony Mackie. I think he's going to kill it in this role. He did great in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. So,
Red Hulk.
Yes.
Red Hulk.
And the CGI actually looks good.
I know. And a callback and a payoff from the Incredible Hulk with Norton. We're finally going to get Samuel Stearns, the leader.
Nice.
So been waiting for that ever since 2008.
AEW and WWE ain't got nothing on Marvel's long-term storytelling.
I know, right?
That's a long storytelling.
That was a long story.
Yes. Yeah, Red Hulk. That's exciting.
And it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's like I like Harrison Ford. It's just a shame that the guy who played him before passed away.
Oh yeah,
We couldn't
yeah. I
see
mean,
it
rest
through.
in peace. He was awesome. William Hurt was amazing as Thunderbolt Ross the entirety of the MCU.
The only thing that concerns me about Harrison Ford being a Hulk is he's freaking ancient.
That's why he could be a Hulk, because he's just CGI'd, man. They already got his face scans. He's good.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't transform back into Harrison Ford.
I mean, he probably does in this movie, but I'm just saying if they want to use it for future movies, all he has to do is just Hulk out and just be Hulk the whole time. Not a big deal.
It's just going to be so weird to see the president of the United States hulking out.
Harrison
And
Ford
tearing a hole through the White House.
wasn't when you had the Red Hulk. Wasn't he stuck as Hulk the whole time? Possibly. Wasn't there some times in the comic books when they were stuck as Hulk?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
So that because I know they
There
separated
was-
them at one point.
Well, when Hulk became Gray Hulk, Joe Fixit, he stayed as Joe Fixit because he had intelligence. He just wasn't as strong, but he stayed as Joe Fixit for a very long time and did not revert back to
Sort of
Banner.
like the Hulk we have right now, Smart Hulk or whatever he's called,
Yeah,
where they just merged Banner and the Hulk together into one.
So
but I
that's-
don't think
that's
that's
what
going to
makes
be.
it
I don't think that's going to be the way it is anymore either, though.
I
I
hope
mean, if
not.
you look at
I
if you look at Shang-Chi's post-credit scene, he's back to Banner and his arm's messed up. So maybe he's, I don't know.
I hate what the MCU did with the Hulk. Absolutely hate it.
Because I can't, it's not about hating. It's just I wish he would have got his own solo stories, but they can't because the movie rights belong to Universal. So, like, they could make the movie, but they would get none of the distribution money off of it when they released it.
I think doesn't this go back to when Marvel was struggling financially?
Yeah, this was in the early 90s when they almost went bankrupt and they sold off a bunch of the properties.
They sold off all their A-tier properties.
So, all right. So next one is Thunderbolts, which comes out May 2nd.
Asterisk.
2021. Yeah, asterisk.
Well, there's Thunderbolts and now it's an asterisk, which many believe that the real title of this movie is going to end up being Dark Avengers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's why they've added the asterisk to Thunderbolts.
Because they haven't quite decided yet.
No,
Or
not
they haven't
that.
revealed it.
Because it starts out as the Thunderbolts. Because I think that our no good heroes in the movie are going to kind of get bamboozled a little bit.
Damn bamboozlers.
By Valentina, they say Fontaine or whatever. Allegra de Fontaine.
Allegra de Fontaine.
Yeah.
Like this
I
movie,
think that's gonna be fun.
I'm really interested mainly just for Bucky, how he gets wrapped up into this because they've done such a good job of rehabbing him. How does he relapse into going in with
I don't know if he's relapsing. I think that he's just going to be approached by Val, and she's going to be like, "I want you to lead this team." Is kind of why I see it. But I'm most excited for Sentry.
Yes.
Like this is Marvel's Superman, and so like it's a very big step to have this person coming into the movie because it's going to be quite possibly the most powerful individual in the MCU after this movie.
I mean, he should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's him, Captain Marvel, and the chick, technically Amelia Clark from Secret Invasion, because she has all these. She's a super scroll now, so like she's technically should be considered one of the strongest too.
And maybe Scarlet Witch. We'll talk about that maybe next.
Oh yeah.
So the next one that's coming out this summer as well is Fantastic Four: First Steps, and it also joins the MCU.
Yes, first official proper MCU Fantastic Four. So exciting.
So it could be good. All the
no,
other,
it's
'cause
gonna
all the
be
other Mad Max
amazing.
movies were trash compared
No,
to
it's
this.
going to be amazing, dude. It's going to be set in a futuristic 60s type society. Like this is I've already seen some of like the practical effects of what the Thing looks like. He looks exactly like the comic. And I cannot wait, dude. I cannot wait that
It'll be
Feige
cool if
finally has
CM
his
Punk
hands on it.
did a cameo in this.
You know what? You know what's the best thing about this movie? It's not going to be an origin film.
No, they're already a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Enough with the freaking origin movies. You don't need an origin movie, origin story in every single movie.
Well, like that's what I like. What Marvel did with Spider-Man, like this trilogy was like their version of an origin film, not a true origin film.
Yeah. It was his origin arc.
Yeah.
So last matter of news, we got Batman Ninja
The second.
versus Yakuza League.
Yeah.
This is an animated film
Yep.
that comes out in 2025.
Is that going to be on Max on the streaming?
Probably.
I think after a while, I think it's going straight to the on demand first, and then Blu-ray and all that. But I got to be honest, I'm not a fan of this. I didn't like the Batman Ninja that they did before.
It's because you don't like anime.
Yeah, I'm not.
And this is a very much an anime style type of show.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
The only anime that I really enjoyed was the Animatrix.
Okay.
I loved it.
And that was all very different styles. So
yes, it was really good though.
9 different separate stories.
Yeah. Anyone else comments on the Batman Ninja Yakuza League?
I don't know anything about it, so I'll have to watch it sometime.
Good. All right. We'll see you later, Joe. We're
Well,
going
hold
to
on. I wanted to talk about the one thing I came on to talk about.
Right. Sorry.
So I don't know. Do either of you play Magic the Gathering?
No.
Well, Magic the Gathering, like they come out with new series and new sets every month.
Mm-hmm.
And the upcoming set is Capcom versus Marvel. So basically it's going to be Marvel versus Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I am so excited. I can't wait to see this.
Heck yeah, dude. That I did hear something about Marvel and
It was like a video game
Magic
part.
having a crossover.
Yeah, it's they're bringing in the video characters into the card game. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
That'll be fun.
I wanted to mention that,
Heck
being
yeah.
nerds and everything. So
For our tabletop nerds out there.
Coming out as a card nerd.
all right, guys, I'm gonna keep watching on YouTube. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right,
See you
adios.
later. Yeah, that's interesting. He just came out as a card nerd.
Yeah.
No judgment here, though.
Nope.
No, we've been talking about this for a while, and I think we want to do it one day. Every once in a while, we get a game of Dungeons and Dragons going.
I've never actually played a game of Dungeons.
I've only played as a child. I haven't played in years.
Now, my buddy that you've met on here, Mikey Bags,
Yeah.
is a very experienced D&D player, and if we want someone who has a lot of knowledge, that is someone who we should bring on.
Yeah, a JFB. Well, he's a dungeon head or whatever.
I mean, if we have like a round table, maybe those would be our two guests, JFB and get Mikey Bags. That'd be a great round table for that.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So we're getting into our main event here. And that, of course, is
The main event.
that is we're gonna be retrospectively talking about Transformers the movie. Now, when I say retrospectively, it's looking back at this movie through what it meant to the whole Transformers universe and what it doesn't hold up. And like all these kind of questions, like was the choice to kill Optimus Prime at that point, was that a good choice or a bad choice? The pretty much this movie is set 10 years or 20 years in the future from the last Transformers episode.
Mm-hmm. 2005.
And I don't know where to start on this. Should we start from the beginning?
Oh, I Transformers G1 is your thing, so I will let you lead the way.
All right, so you watched it today with your son?
Yep.
Okay, so this starts off, I believe, with Galvatron. He is destroying this other robot planet.
Not Galvatron.
Oh no, not Galvatron. Sorry, Unicron.
Yes.
sorry. Unicron is destroying the big planet eater, and he's destroying this other robot planet.
Yep.
And right away, the slide gets me. It's Unicron. I'm like, how do they know who this is? So it's like, we've been expecting you. We know you'd come.
When I see a big giant robot transformer, I'm like, oh, that's Unicron.
Yeah. So he destroys the planet. And we learn that it's 20 years in the future, and the Decepticons are controlling Cybertron, and the Autobots are getting ready to try and invade or whatever. And it starts off with Laserbeak, kind of spying on the Autobots, and reveal to Megatron that Autobots are getting ready for invasion. And this is the first part that bothers me.
But there's a big problem before they can launch their invasion. They don't have enough energy cubes or whatever, and they have to go to Autobot City on Earth. And this is the information that Megatron hears.
Yeah, so this is my first problem with this movie. Megatron, now retrospectively, right? Not at the time, because I loved it as a kid. Because I was like,
yeah.
But retrospectively, this is my first problem with this movie. Is Megatron and Starscream, they attack the ship heading back to Autobot City and kill everyone on board. Just with one shot, they're dead. Like all these legendary characters and toys that the kids have been collecting are now dead. I think it was Ratchet, Ironhide, Mirage, I think.
Yeah.
All just dead. With one shot. It's like, I was just like, you're killing like people, like legendary characters right from the start.
Yeah. But the shot of Megatron standing over and delivering the final shot, that was like an epic shot from when I was a kid, just remembering seeing that.
And even Megatron says, this was almost too easy. Well, yeah, it was, because in the cartoons, they never got killed. Those got injured.
Yep.
So, and then we get introduced to a brand new character from the time, 1986. It's Hot Rod. And I like this character, Hot Rod. He's got, I guess the kids have aged. He's now an adult, and he's now the dad figure. And this new kid is there with Hot Rod, and they spot Megatron and the gang in the ship because he's expecting his dad to be on there.
Yep.
And they start firing. Anyways, so they attack Autobot City, and they call for reinforcements. Meanwhile, like, everyone's dying.
Yeah.
Everyone's dying. And just all these people these Transformers that have been around for a long time are just dying. And they call Optimus Prime down to help them. And Optimus comes in. He's bowling everyone away. He's killing all these Decepticons.
Yeah, but who does he come in with?
I don't remember.
He comes in with the Dinobots, dog, and
right.
Grimlock, Swoop, all of them coming down and just laying the smackdown on their candy asses.
Now the main guy they were taking on was Devastator, because Devastator was
Yeah, that's it. That was the Dinobots. Is like, take down Devastator.
Anyway, so we get to this fatal clash between Megatron and Optimus, and this is supposed to be their big final showdown. Now, this is only 3 years into the Transformers existing. Not even two and a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the battle, Megatron's almost dead. Optimus Prime is dead. The Decepticons retreat, and they take all their wounded back into the Astro Train space shuttle, and so my problem is this: 2 years into this franchise, you're killing off the most important guy. This is a fatal mistake.
Well, they realized that it was, but
Too late.
There was a very much of a purpose of why they did this.
Yeah.
All of these movies, whenever a cartoon came out in the 80s, it was just guaranteed 65 episodes. When you got made as a cartoon, bam, you got 65 episodes. These cartoons were only to further the toy line. That's all of they had. So every 1 and 2 years had bought all the Optimus Primes, had bought all of the Megatrons, all of the Rawhides, all of these people that we see getting mowed down. They said, we need these viewers to become attached to a new generation, so that way we can continue to sell new toys to these people who already have these other ones. So they said, we're going to get rid of Optimus Prime. We're going to kill him off. We'll give us a new Prime, which we'll talk about later, and then we'll go off. What they did not realize is that pop culture and the general masses would reject this so vehemently that they would stop watching and boycott Transformers until they brought Optimus Prime back.
And they brought Optimus Prime back too late.
Later than what it should have been.
Yeah, it was
way too never
late.
Went anywhere.
Yeah, it was way too late, and by then the Transformers franchise was in a spiral. They couldn't recover. We had the result to Headmasters. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yep.
Like, they were desperate to come up with something, and that's where they went.
It was greed. It was Hasbro's greed. Plain and simple. They wanted money, and that's all there was to it. But that's also why you saw 87 million different Transformers, 87 million different G.I. Joes who were all special in their own individual way, because then they weren't alike and you had to buy the toy.
Yes.
And that's all that mattered, was selling little 3 3/4 pieces of plastic.
Yeah.
But the movie itself.
I'll say who my favorite Transformer is.
Okay.
It's Blaster.
Oh.
Blaster is so cool. He was one of my first toys that I owned. And they took way too long to give him tapes. Way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long.
It's always going to be Soundwave, just because he sounds so cool, and all the cassette tapes to come out are so awesome. I just love it.
So like, Hot Rod as a character, great character.
He was a young up-and-comer.
But did you know what? All these characters in this movie were never heard or seen from again after the series was over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them,
Unicron came back, but
also I guess.
And Galvatron, this is what helped make Devastator really big too.
Galvatron didn't make it.
No, because he just ended up coming back as Megatron.
Yeah, and I think Ultra Magnus came back in some other things.
Yeah.
But most of these characters, like Blur and Cup,
Yeah.
and all these little new guys they were trying to sell toys on, they
Mhm.
did make the cut in all the other extra lines of
Yeah.
Transformers that came after, like to keep this to keep the stories flowing. Um, all the classic
Grimlock, the dinosaur. Grimlock, not nice.
me Grimlock King.
Oh, I love Grimlock, dude. He's so fun.
Grimlock was one of the bright spots in this movie.
Bro, Grimlock is amazing.
Yeah,
I love
and
him.
he spent like zero time as the robot.
Oh, I know, yeah.
he's
You're
like,
just
me
a
what
dino
story?
form the whole
Tell me
time, dude.
story. He wants to hear the war stories.
I know, right? That was amazing. Like, tell me more stories.
Yeah. Like the movie itself is fine as a standalone movie. But as far as like, yeah, it did kill the Transformers franchise.
I do want to say though, watching it back today
Yeah.
and watching it with Connor, just the way they made cartoons in the 80s,
Yeah.
it just looks so cool. Like even
Yeah.
today, if you're talking about if it stands up or whatever, the animation styles still looks so cool to me. Like even it may not be as like flow rate, bit rate as high as what we get today, but it's still like when they shoot the lasers off and just the sound effects and the way that it just looks so cool to me.
So Megatron is floating in space, and he gets sells his soul to to Unicron, and he gets a new body. All these other broken down Transformers, like the Insecticons and those two other jet planes,
Mm-hmm.
Thrust
It's a
and
new ship.
yeah, they become these these jobbers for Megatron. Like they have zero personality.
No.
Yeah, they're not. They're just jobbers.
Mm-hmm.
Megatron's jobbers. I'm sorry, Galvatron's jobbers. And they also do not make it into any future.
They weren't necessary.
No. Like Thrust and the other guy, I forget his name, Thundercracker. They were like they were original Decepticons.
Mm-hmm.
Like those were like some of the very first ones. And to
So I'm saying they were clearing house to make room for more toys.
Yeah. And to me, what they should have done was introduce Hot Rod. Introduce Ultra Magnus. Like, there's nothing wrong with Ultra Magnus being your Commander Riker, being your number 2.
Yeah.
And like Hot Rod doesn't need to. He didn't need that. He could have just been that cool, like Transformer. That's like the new Bumblebee sort of character that everyone loves.
I mean, I guess, but the whole point was just to sell toys. So,
Yeah.
like, to me,
no, but like what I'm saying,
he already has the Bumblebee feel, is what I'm saying. So it's like that's just a retread of character to me.
Yeah, but like you need to sell toys, right? So you can introduce these characters while not killing off the old ones.
Yeah, I know. I'm like I said, it seems like just mixing. It seems like a mutt of a Transformer as opposed to someone who has their own.
Yeah, well,
thing.
By killing off these guys, you're bringing in a brand new, like,
yeah.
There's way more money to make if you kill off the old ones.
So they think.
Yeah, but had they just kept the ship going, introducing new guys all the time.
Yep, along the way.
Yeah, but they got too greedy. Like I remember, I saw the toys before I watched the movie in the toy store, and I was like, "What are these?" I'm like, "What the hell are these?"
Who's Rodimus Prime?
Yeah, I was like, "What?" And me and my friends at school who saw these, we were like, "What the hell are they doing?" And I believe the toy store told us that they're killing off Optimus and all these other Transformers. And we were like, what? We were pissed.
Yeah.
So, but we still went and saw the movie. We still
Yep.
went. Yeah. But yeah, there was they had a point where Ultra Magnus gets the leadership of Matrix for like this short period of time
Mm-hmm.
through a quarter of the movie, I guess. And Hot Rod caught it before, hinting that he's going to get it or whatever. But,
Right. Some foreshadowing.
Yes. And then Galvatron comes in and kills Ultra Magnus, apparently.
No, well, let's go back a little bit before that because we didn't talk about the first place that Galvatron went after he got
Right,
his stuff,
right.
and that was to Cybertron in one of my favorite moments of the movie.
Yes. Have you seen the toy? Have you seen the Coronation Starscream toy?
No, I can't remember.
He's got the cape. He's got the crown.
Yeah.
It is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And Starscream is my favorite bad guy.
Yeah, Starscream's fun too.
The Decepticons are all blowing their horns and he shoots it off. And then Galvatron comes in and just kills him.
And then smashes the crown.
Yeah. Which led to a cool episode the next season. Starstream comes back as a ghost.
Yeah.
And he starts possessing all the different Decepticons. And that was such a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the better ones in that season. Where we go next? So Galvatron is attacking Ultra Magnus. He's just bombarded with all these Decepticons coming in, and they end up destroying him. Seemingly kill off the number 2 now, but they can't do that because they want people to buy Ultra Magnus toys.
Yep.
So he gets back together by these robot characters that they're also trying to sell.
Yeah.
These biker alien.
They were like the Dodger and Oliver of Transformers. I don't know. It's like they just steal and take and do this, and it's kind of funny. And he only talked through like TV quotes. That's the only way he could speak the English.
Which later they kind of used for Bumblebee.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of my point, is that how it kind of tied into that.
Yeah, so now Hot Rod and the gang now have to and they have to get back that Matrix of leadership because Galvatron took off with it, and Galvatron's going to use it against Unicron to now be his master, because it's always greed, right? You can't just.
Yep.
And Unicorn transforms into this giant robot, and he picks up. Oh, first he attacks Cybertron.
Yeah.
But he picks up Galvatron, who starts firing at him, and he eats him. And now, and then the Autobots come in and fly through his eye, which was cool. They got you got the touch.
Yeah.
You got the power. Like that song.
The soundtrack to this whole thing was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just literally 80s banger after 80s banger throughout this entire movie.
Yeah. Except for when they're dancing on the planet. In that circle.
That was... The Grimlock dancing was hilarious to me.
Yeah. And we're not even talking about the quintessons. We're just kind of skipping over that part.
Yeah.
And the Shark Tank. And
yeah.
That was just filler.
I mean, a little bit.
It was just filler because it didn't lead anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
there's just another obstacle for them to have to escape.
Yeah. just another kind of. But now they're in. Everyone's inside Unicron now, and there's this line that's taking all these Transformers and dipping them in this acid pool. And what is the kid's name again?
Tommy. I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyways,
David
he's got
David his dad.
Spike is his dad.
Okay, I don't remember.
Anyway, so this kid's got to use his
Exoskeleton.
robot suit,
Yeah.
exosuit to shut the lid, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's like, "Beep, beep, what did I?" He accidentally does it. Saves his dad. Saves the
Bumblebee was right after him too.
Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper, who magically just still survives. Like, why is Cliff Jumper still around and they're killing all these other guys?
I don't know.
Maybe because
Didn't
people are
sell
still
enough
buying
toys.
Cliff Jumper because he's cheap.
Didn't sell enough toys. Got to sell more.
Yeah. So, Hot Rod comes face to face with Galvatron,
The final showdown.
and he's running originally. And I forget how does this happen again?
Well, Galvatron, he kind of comes out of the shadows because Rodimus finds the Matrix, and he's like, "You'll never be able to open. It's locked." And Rodimus is like, "Well, duh, because you're a Decepticon. Only an Autobot can open it." And then they have like their little fight, and then all of a sudden, Rodimus unlocks it, and he's like holds it up, and it's like slow-mo in different like phases, and then all of a sudden it's like, boo, and the light goes out everywhere. And then all of a sudden, like, the Unicron tentacles everywhere just start like dissipating and everything else, and
the head pops off.
Yeah,
the head pops off of a Unicron.
Yeah, and the last shot is you just see Unicron's head floating out in space.
So, the one cool thing about this movie, because I don't believe they did this up till now, is they introduced the Matrix of Leadership.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that was prior to.
I don't think. No, because I feel like before then, like in the early original, Prime was like a family name as opposed to just a title of leadership. I could be wrong, but I felt like there was like a line of Primes.
Yeah, I don't think the Primes had been introduced at this point, though.
I mean, Optimus is before and he's a Prime.
Yeah, but I don't think all the other Primes.
Oh, well, I mean, like Rodimus became
here.
the new Prime, but yeah, I mean, you have so many Primes that come after this.
Yes, but I don't think any of them had been introduced at this point.
Yeah, I mean, because Optimus was the first. And so, yeah, the Matrix of Leadership, you would have never known about that until this point because there had never been another leader, and we didn't even know how they were chosen. So this kind of gave a little bit of lore into the Autobots and how they do things too through like Cybertron.
Yeah. So what do you think this movie impact is on the Transformer line overall, the history of the Transformers?
Well, I would say it's a big roadblock.
Yeah.
To come down to, I mean, I enjoy the movie for what it is, and I still like watching it. But in terms of the line and the story and everything else, it slowed it down because
they used wrestling terms. They painted themselves into a corner.
Yeah,
that they couldn't recover from.
Nope.
And the only thing they're lucky is they didn't kill off some of their other beloved characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't kill off Blaster. They didn't kill off Bumblebee. They did, however, turn him into Goldbug the next season.
Yeah.
To sell more toys.
Gotta go buy these VW Beetles now.
Yeah. And, so, like, on its own, great movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it killed off the Transformers.
G1, definitely.
Yeah, it killed G1. They could have they could have kept it going on for another few years and got many other kids hooked on this stuff.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing too. There's a lot of stuff out at this time.
Yeah.
So like kids had a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Because you had Ninja Turtles becoming popular now, and that was something sweeping the nation all on its own. And it kind of came after the G.I. Joe and the
Transformer
He-Man
boom. Yeah.
and Transformer group, like that early 80s. And then you start, switching from that into to other things that go
No,
through
like
the
He-Man.
90s.
He-Man took over. Transformers took over and killed He-Man.
Yeah.
Like all the momentum He-Man had was gone as soon as Transformers came out because it was just
Right. And then Ninja Turtles did that to them.
I feel Ninja Turtles didn't. I feel Transformers did it to themselves.
Well, they may have done it to themselves, but the effect of that was
like Transformers got the ball on a fumble pretty much.
Well, no, I'm just saying because they shot themselves in the foot, it it allowed the avenue for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to rise.
Yeah, exactly.
As a toy line and then as a cartoon.
Yeah.
And plus, the cartoon of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is admittedly way more fun to watch than Transformers.
Do you know what else flourished because of this? And stop me if I'm wrong, but pro wrestling was getting really big at this point.
Yeah.
And
starting to.
Yeah, and you had these wrestling figures that you could buy.
Yep.
These LGN ones.
Yep.
And this is Cody Rhodes, but he's made in the same style, and it's made by LGN. So that the bendy, big rubber ones. So like those kind of took over in popularity as well.
Yep.
Pro wrestling was big, and for me, that's what it went to. Went from Transformers to pro wrestling, and that's where my love for pro wrestling started. So I didn't really do the Ninja Turtles too much. I went to pro wrestling after Transformers.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles is where it's at, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
but I was not a collector. I wasn't an avid watcher. I watched the shows, but not avidly.
Well, it was part of the Saturday morning cartoon lineup.
Yeah.
So like, and that's just what you did. I mean, you turned on morning cartoons, and bam, it was there.
So next week we're doing Transformers again. We probably won't do Transformers for a long time, but we're gonna review Transformers 1 because it's interesting to compare these two movies. Because I watched it last night, I'll watch it again to review, refresh myself up. But that's a hell of a movie.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a movie.
I've heard good things.
Yeah. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about this movie.
I think I'm going to be buying it on streaming this weekend or early next week, so
okay,
I should probably be able to watch it.
There's other ways to watch as well, just so you know.
Yeah, I know, but if I'm going to find something that I'm going to buy, I'd just buy it.
Yeah, and I want to know what Connor thinks of this too.
Okay.
So we'll be doing Transformers 1 review next week, and we'll kind of pull back to this movie as well to compare.
Yeah,
because I feel this movie. I feel like this movie that was last night is more what that movie should have been. Like the movie we watched today.
Okay.
So,
like telling of how they came to power?
No, just because Optimus Prime has become part of pop culture.
Okay.
Like,
I'll have to watch it in order to grasp what you're fully getting there.
well, no, like Optimus Prime, like he's
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, like, if they would have made that back then, it makes more sense for an origin story to be
no,
made
I don't mean
only
like
2 years
I don't mean
after it's
exactly
there.
like
Is what I was saying.
no, I don't mean like exactly like Transformers 1. Just it, more of a Optimus Prime centered movie instead of
Okay.
a Optimus
Okay.
Prime hot rod movie.
Okay, got it.
Like that's what it should have been, and it wasn't.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that next week, and we'll get into this. And thank you so much for tuning in to the comic store. We enjoy talking this with you every week, and we enjoy
Getting
people
a nerd
calling
out,
in.
man.
Molly was gonna call in, but she, as you saw in the chat there, she was stepping outside, so she couldn't have. I requested a call in from the bus. But, that would have been something, right?
Yeah, it would have. That would have been a Friday evening thing.
Yeah. So, I look forward to this every Friday and just talking about different stuff.
And guys, like I know, like we're doing Transformers this week, or next week, but there is such a wide range of things to go over and talk about. We have not even scratched the bare surface of that scratch and sniff sticker, which is comic books and superheroes. So just be patient with us. We're gonna get through everything. There's gonna be so many different things, and like we've said before, let us know what you want us to talk about too. Give us ideas. We're always here, open. Because you may have to think of something that I forgot about or Canada Dry's forgot about. So suggestions always welcome.
One of the ideas that we were talking about is top 10 vehicles in superhero movies and TV shows and comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of them are Batmobiles.
At least not Canada Dry's.
Well, I have a collection of Batmobiles, so it is my favorite.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. But you could make a whole top 10 list on Batman vehicles alone.
Yeah.
The Batbike.
Mm-hmm.
The Batwing.
Mm-hmm. The Batcopter.
The Batcopter, which is kind of dead now.
It is, but I still love it.
Yeah, the Batcopter, right?
That's the old 66, baby. I love it.
But the Batwing kind of replaced it.
Yeah.
And it's cooler than that Batcopter.
It's true.
Like that first one in the Michael Keaton movies. How sick was that?
I remember still seeing
it.
It
Meets the moon,
like,
and you see the Batman logo. Like,
never seen anything so like the way that it came up into the moon and just did it, and then just dropped down. Like that was one of the coolest scenes when I was a kid.
Yeah, definitely the vehicles in, like that Batmobile too. That's got to be my favorite.
If it's not, it's close.
Like,
okay, let's save this for later. There's a whole
right.
Stop giving away the bills for free, Canada Dry.
Yeah. We got lots of vehicle talk to go over in pop culture, like Dukes of Hazzard. You could get that in there too.
Hey, or Marvel Joe. We can talk about Supernatural and Baby, the '67 Impala. Like, you got Knight Rider. Like, there's a ton.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a fun episode. So I guess on behalf of Lord Ryan Rich and on behalf of myself, Canada Dry, we'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel. And remember, put the devil in a sharpshooter and just keep fighting. Now, where the hell is that outro? stay tuned for our program on fishing for burgers that follows immediately this show. So stay tuned to the AFW network for Fishing for Burgers. See you later, guys.